Isn't nil by mouth tonight, Jason?
Good evening, Gingerberry, GB, and good evening, Lore. You both come in at the exact same time, but it looks like GB beat Lore to the punch. Verbaldia.
There's a change. Men coming first, huh?
We're in one of those moods, all right? Let me just check the focus. Let me just check. You look like you're in focus.
Check your own focus.
There you go. Now you're in focus. Is it too bright on you?
Oh, it's great.
You sure?
Yeah.
You don't want to be.
I look shy anyway, so.
It's better. It's better on straight on the light. Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Good evening, Mark. Lol, you're on form, V. She certainly is. She certainly is. She had a grand handy day today. She had a grand handy day today doing Chagall while I worked my tuchus, whatever a tuchus is.
You have to do it once in your life.
So, yeah. It was strange actually because I had 2 days in work with no meetings. I thought there was something wrong with my calendar because I looked at it and I went, there's no meetings in it. There's nothing in it. I'm free for 2 days because so many people were off because of the bank holiday.
I think you leaned on aisle or something.
It's possible. And so many people were off yesterday and today. I genuinely did think there was something wrong with my calendar. It was great. I caught
Evening,
up.
Rory. What's the story?
Good evening, Rory. Good evening, Mr. Ford. It's like a class, isn't it? Welcome, class.
I'm sure.
So we'll do a roll call. Gingerberry, Gingerberry, and the answer is Anshaw if you're in Ireland. Lore here, Anshaw. So I'm a bit tired tonight. A little bit tired. I did a lot of work on Wednesday out in the garden. And then I was working very hard in work, so I'm a bit tired, so I'm taking tonight off. So
you're going up in the attic tomorrow as well, aren't you?
Yeah, but not
Did
first
you
thing.
think I forgot?
Not first thing, I'm not.
Well, no, because I have my class tomorrow morning.
Yeah. To get up into the attic to retrieve baby equipment that we thought we'd never ever need, but we didn't have the heart to throw out because we're a pair of sentimental hoarders, aren't we? We tend to hoard things, and I think the sentimentality. In fact, when we go up to the top of the stairs, you know those kind of stair gates. So on the top of the stairs, where you mount a stair gate, the 2 little discs that the gate sits into are still there. I just never had the heart to take them down because, you know, it just reminds me of him being.
Maybe you knew the world had plans for
you. Well, do you know what? To be honest, I thought one day maybe he'd come home. Now I know you obviously could take them down and put them back up, but we did take away all the child locks and the press and stuff because they were a nightmare. But they'll have to be all reinstated.
I think a lot of them broke anyway because he was so rough with them.
They were very hard to fix. Integrated presses covers, like on a dishwasher and a fridge, I find quite awkward to hang. And those hooks were quite awkward to place. There must be some kind of
technique.
Yeah, some kind of, because no matter what you do, you're constantly adjusting them anyway. So that's the thing. So how's the bump?
Good.
Very active last night, wasn't
he? Yeah.
He's kicking away good though, but it's getting big, isn't it? The bump. Yeah. It's really starting to show now. There's no denying that you're.
No, I don't just need a good fart.
You're definitely on flying form tonight, so I will hand over the reins.
No, don't. No, I told you already that that's not how we work. So just you continue doing what you're doing and stop trying to stop and just.
I'm not trying to stop.
I
thought genuinely. I thought the week I didn't talk much. It was quite interesting. We got a lot of comments afterwards. When you were talking
afterwards.
about well, we get very few comments.
Your ears are very hairy. You need to give them a little trim. Like that's growing out your ear. Will I pull it?
No. Ow! Ow! Ow!
It's still there.
Yeah, I know it is. I can feel something.
It's like wire.
Well, that's men get hairy. Men get hairy as they get older.
That one's in your hair. Show me.
Men get hairy.
There.
Go on, pull it.
I can't because it's quite greasy. There you go.
You know what you're like? You're like some kind of monkey. You're always at me when I watch these videos on playback. Look at the length of that guy.
I know.
What? Look at the length of it. For look. You're like some kind of monkey always picking at me. It just goes to show.
Meanwhile in the zoo.
We're kind of like, you're just picking away at me. I notice it every week. We're like, you're grooming me. We're like a couple of chimps or something.
I do. I spend my time doing that. I know. I do it to Christian as well.
Yeah, it's
I like it though
because we're just. I mean, what do we share with the chimpanzee? Is it 98% similar DNA or something like that? I think we're very similar. Very similar. Yeah.
That's why you do a lot of testing on them.
Very similar.
Their reactions and everything are very similar.
So men grow hair in their ears
paradox.
to block it. Very good, Rory. To block out the wife's moaning. Very good. Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Very true. So I fully intended for you to talk, so I didn't prepare any topics. I've nothing really.
It's never stopped you before.
I've nothing really.
I've seen you go down rants that you could easily talk for an hour.
Well, no, I'm not doing that. There, I shouldn't rant. You could talk about.
We can converse.
Go on then. I'm more mellow than tired, if you know what I mean.
Are you?
Yeah.
How come?
I don't know. Just kind of mellow. Like it was Paddy's Day was rubbish, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was just pants. You know, and like obviously it's the anniversary of COVID now, and I think that this time last year I was up the walls because we couldn't go camping. Paddy's Day was ruined. The rugby was ruined.
Paddy's Day is your favourite day of the year, isn't it?
Your birthday was ruined. There were so many things. Now, obviously, some people have had it worse, obviously. But I just think there were so many things to look forward to. Our trip to Scotland. Remember that? Remember we were going to Scotland? Remember all that palaver? We'd everything booked. We'd booked the trip to Italy, and I booked the trip to Scotland that day. And people were saying you could come and stay in our house because we're going to go wild camping. And all that went up in smoke. Remember?
Bloody COVID.
And I was there the other day. I was out in the back garden and I was doing my bits and pieces. And it was Paddy's Day. And I was wearing my overalls. And I was doing a bit of cleaning and cleaning out the shed and doing stuff. And I thought...
All because somebody wanted to know what a bat tasted like.
Huh?
All because somebody wanted to know what a bat tasted like.
It gives you a taste of what it must be like to have a really, really, really boring life, which is possible. You know, if you've nothing to do, if you've no family, no hobbies, no interests, no money, no opportunities to do anything, life must be just terrible. You know what I mean?
Well, only if you want more.
What do you mean?
If you're happy with your lot, then life probably isn't terrible. But if you want more from life and you can't afford
that's
it,
the point I'm making. Imagine you couldn't though. Imagine you were like, you'd no friends for whatever reason, no money, you can't travel anywhere, you're trapped and stuck.
That's imagine like me with you.
Imagine the tedium of it though. Imagine how tedious it must be. That's what I was there the other day in the garden. I thought, this is just like, I don't think I could do another year.
No, absolutely not.
I definitely couldn't do another year.
No.
I've stopped thinking about things like the van and going on holidays and everything like that. Now I know everyone in the UK is going to be free soon, fair baldy, but I'd be glad when it's over. Yeah,
I'd love to have even like a couple of weekends away before the baby gets here.
Yeah. Why?
Just because.
Sure, you'd be as big as a house. You can do nothing. You won't be able to cook in the van.
I'd still be able
you won't be able to fit behind the table. Be useless. Huh? I won't be cooking. Be chipper. What's going on? We're hopeful to get away for Dorset on the 12th. If Boris sticks to his roadmap, yeah. I like your new icon, Laura.
To be fair to Boris, it's his plan, but everyone needs to buy into it. So to be fair to Boris, accountability there as well from the people of the UK.
Well, the new variants are very contagious as well. That new variant, it's like 70% more virulent and 100% more contagious and stuff like that.
That's precisely why people need to be held accountable, and they need to be wearing their masks and washing their hands and staying 6 feet away from people and staying out of people's houses and stuff like that. Barry.
Eamon. I wanted to have a word with Eamon.
Jesus, that sounds terrible. Yeah, Barry, I would, if they offered me a vaccine, I absolutely would still take it. Because it's like, it's safer that I take it than I don't take it and I get COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've already had the whooping cough vaccine, haven't you?
Yeah.
So, in for a penny, in for a pound.
3 weeks later, I can finally feel my arm again.
Where's Eamon? Thank you very much for the recommendation for the Cool Worlds. We watched a couple of the videos. Very well made. Very interesting.
Did we?
Remember I was saying to him he's very handsome and intelligent, and you were saying he had a nice big long nose or something like that. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah. But really, really interesting videos. And so Cool Worlds, I think it's Cool Worlds is the channel, but it's like Cool Worlds Lab. Worlds. I have trouble saying worlds. So very interesting. So thanks a million, Eamon. They were very good to watch, and I'll definitely watch some more. Really long and not destroyed with ads and stuff like that. So it was grand.
Mr. Ford had his jab this week. So how did you I
was still talking to Eamon. I hadn't finished the point. You've put me off now. Oh yeah, I wanted to make this point. The thing I liked Eamon was, one of the point he made was, this is the thing. So this is going back to my conspiracy around aliens on the planet and all, which is true. And then Eamon was going on about, myself and Eamon having a little side conversation around, say, the scale of the universe and how hard it is, basically. I think that's what we were talking about, Eamon. But what they said was, just to put it into context, right? If the sun, right, our sun, was shrunk down to the size of a grain of sand, right? So the largest thing in our solar system makes up 99% of the mass of our solar system, right? It sits in the sun. It's huge. 1 million Earths would fit inside it. Possibly more, I think. If it was shrunk down to the size of a grain of sand, the nearest star from here, sticking to that scale, would be 6 miles away. Just think about this. You can't get your head around the scale.
Mind blowing.
It's just bonkers. Go ahead.
Now, Mr. Ford, how did you feel after you had your jab this week?
And we'll wait for an answer.
Yeah.
I'll do my. Well, yeah, no, like while he's getting the answer, because there's a delay.
I've
all good, no side effects.
Oh, you're very lucky.
Eamon had the first jab on Tuesday and felt ill for 36 hours.
Couple of people, I've heard have very strong flu-like symptoms for 24 hours anyway. One girl, after 24 hours, she immediately felt better.
Yeah, but that's the whole idea. The whole idea is it stimulates a response.
Yeah, well, that's what she's saying. You kind of want that from it.
That's what it's supposed to do. Yeah. It's designed to do that. And sometimes they do put things in. They do put things into the vaccine to stimulate your immune system. Designed in such a way to make sure that you get a prompt. And then that's why you're sort of saying you have 6 months immunity at that stage.
But the only thing is 6 months immunity enough? Will we have to get a top up in 6 months' time after you get it?
Possibly, but you see, the thing is, it's herd immunity then. If we're all immune, if we all have it, then it won't spread as much, or if you do get it, it won't be as bad. So to be able to manage it all. But the whole idea is that, 6 months. But we probably will. The same way you get your flu jab every year, it'll probably be incorporated into it, because God knows when the next thing can happen. It's happened once. It can happen again. They're only every 100 years. But 100 years ago, there wasn't 7-8 billion people on the planet, and we weren't living cheek by jowl, and we weren't flying all over the place.
True.
And I'm sure the Chinese were eating bats and stuff like that. But that can happen here because we've so many pigs, and and birds and everything like this. So that's what happens. As I explained before, there's zoonoses, in that it's a disease that can travel from across the species barriers, they call it.
Like foot and mouth. That was able to do that as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about. I don't know a whole lot about that. My miss works for Pfizer, and I had the Astra one. Very good. Yeah, AstraZeneca. Yeah, that's the one that they pulled for a little while, but again,
the UK didn't pull it.
No, fair ball to them. Cracking on.
Boris actually got that today.
I think it's half the population over there now is 24 million or 25 million. Yeah, it's fair ball. We're still
25 people.
I think there's 10 people in Ireland. 10 people. They shared the one vaccine. That's what we got, one bottle, and we got 10 people vaccinated. So it's grand. It's grand, isn't it?
Yeah.
So got about the time difference. The time difference there's a lag in here. Mine was Oxford too. Yeah, I know. Well, pharmacists doing over here, but all are well. All right, the time. Okay, you must be somewhere. Yes, we are. We are well. Thank you very much, pharmacists. Do it over the camper. I got Moderna. All right. Okay. So, everyone's getting them. That's great to read now, because obviously you guys are free. Oh, the USA, very good.
They're doing a great job over there.
Yeah, they're flying along here. So the EU again has dropped the ball on this, because the companies are in the EU that are making it, but clearly the UK and the US are hoovering up all the vaccines, and that's what happens. I think the EU is getting a bit shorty over the whole thing. They're kind of going, all these vaccines are being made here and they're being shipped out, but the companies presumably have some kind of contractual obligations.
Yeah. And
America and Britain got in first and foremost and got them, and the EU was caught with their pants down, clearly. You know, so we'll all be vaccinated apparently by June or July
2024.
So just in time to be back to normal anyway. So that's that. Look at that, everyone's had it.
They're on the UK.
I know, it's amazing. EU ballsed up. They did. You're right. Brexit. I'm starting it. We should do it. What's the Irish version of exit? Brexit. Your exit. Anyway, so what do you want to talk about, Viv?
Not politics.
Well, what do you want to talk about? Has anyone? I'm studying to learn Irish. So I'm in the middle of trying to learn Irish. I know I should be able to speak Irish, but I don't. And I'm trying to. Is anyone fluent in air exit? Is anyone fluent in another language? Does anyone speak 2 languages? And has anyone learned a second language? And does anyone have any advice?
That'd
be kind of interesting.
Rory's an Irish school teacher, isn't he? Or he's a teacher anyway, so he must have
Gaelic, yeah, that's correct. Gaelga. Well, you see, Gaelic, I didn't know this, I only learned this recently. Gaelic is, so when you Americans call Irish Gaelic, but apparently that's incorrect.
Rory speaks Irish.
Speaks Italian, he said.
Oh, Rory speaks Irish, said Misha.
So, the Irish language is Gaelga. And the Scottish language is Scots Gaelic. But Americans refer to us in the same way. It's sort of a catch-all, and it's Celts and all that kind of stuff. But apparently you're supposed to call it Gaeilge, but I didn't know any of this. I would have said Gaelic as well. I don't know.
No, I just said Gaeilge.
Some French. No, but my best friend is from Innismean. Inishmaan. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm knee deep in trying to learn how to speak Irish, and keep saying to Vanessa I'm going to be fluent within a week. But it is hard going. I've immersed myself as much as I can without going fully immersed into the language by going to the Gaeltacht or something. And I don't know anyone. I know one person who speaks fluent Irish, but I don't mix with him, if you know what I mean. Like he works where I work, but we don't see each other, and he's certainly not going to speak Irish to me all day. I wouldn't know what he was saying. But so I'm immersing myself in it. But when I listen to anything, I listen to Irish TV here in Gaeilge, and I'm going, I don't know. I hear odd words and stuff like that, and it's interesting, but I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. But it's hard going to learn a second language. It's hard going. So I was watching this woman, and she's a polyglot. She speaks a bunch of different languages, and she gives herself 2 years to learn a new language. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm about, according to Duolingo, I'm about 69 days in. So I'm 69 days in, and what does that give me? 700 and what's that?
Loads more to go.
660 days to go to learn Irish. That's my challenge, to learn Irish, but it is difficult. You know, I could only imagine learning a language completely from scratch, because
we all have the basics. Yeah,
you have to learn Irish in school by law in Ireland,
unless you have a learning difficulty.
Yeah, and I think I did. The thing I've noticed about it is, I seem to go blank. It's like, I know the word when I'm doing the Duolingo stuff and I go through it and everything like that. But if you ask me to start a conversation, it's like
stage fright.
It's just blank. I just go blank.
Yeah,
I don't seem to remember anything. I don't know what it is.
Stage fright.
No,
it is. It's a version of it.
No, I think I just have a learning.
You're an idiot. I know.
I think of a learning disability.
Welsh is very easy.
Who said that?
Pharmacists do it over the counter. Try learning Welsh. It's incomprehensible. Comprehensible.
Where are you?
I'm the third from the bottom.
Okay. I would, but I know if I don't use it, I'll lose it. Yeah, apparently that's the thing. They are perishable. Try learning Welsh. There's this guy. He's another polyglot, but he's like a professor in languages, and he went to Wales to speak. He went to a conference, and he wanted to learn how to speak Welsh. Very interesting conversation. What happened was he made his way, but a huge percentage of the Welsh speak Welsh on a daily basis. So a lot of people over there speak it as their first language. And he was saying that he arrived in this place and he went into where this office was, and they wouldn't speak to him in anything but Welsh. And he had to figure out where he was in the wrong place, but he had to figure out, and he got there. And then he did. So that's what he did. He learned Welsh. So, but apparently, I think my understanding is if you speak 2 or 3 languages anyway, it is easier to learn more. So if I can master Irish, I'll give it another go. I'll give it a go. Would be brilliant though, wouldn't it? I'd love it. What's that? Try learning. Use subtitles on TV. Yeah, you see, the thing about that is, Laura, is that when you're learning, you start reading, and believe it or not, you can't do no matter what women say, right? No one can multitask effectively, right? Try driving and texting. So you'll definitely end up wrapped around a pole. So you just can't. People just can't. We can't multitask. So if I'm reading the English, I'm reading the English. It's like if you're watching a movie that's foreign, really you're reading the text and then you have to look back to see what's going on. So what I'm trying to do, I'm using Rosetta Stone, and it's purely in Irish. There's no English in it at all. So you have to figure it out, and it works very well. But so I think watching subtitles is a kind of cheat. But saying that, it would be a good way to, when I hear words, I was there tonight and I was listening to a thing, and they were talking, and I was going, what does that word mean? Because they kept saying it, but I was going, I didn't know. And anyway, I talk crap. I went to an interview to drive the Eurostar trains, and it was the fact that you had to learn fluent that frightened me. Okay.
French.
Well,
French
that makes sense.
Very difficult, though.
Is it?
Yeah, I did French in school for 5 years, and we were in France, and I didn't have a word of French.
I just, you see,
very, very difficult.
You have to be motivated to want to learn a language, I just actually, because France is a beautiful place and everything like that, but it's one of the countries that just doesn't appeal to me to go to for whatever reason. It's beautiful. We drove through it and looked around and everything like that, but I just think there's something. It just doesn't seem to hold my interest. I don't know why. Maybe that'll change. Because it is beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful. And we watched that thing with your man, was Escape to the Chateau. I mean, what a life. What a life. You could buy a beautiful chateau in France, and he's an amazing mustache.
Baguettes.
Yeah, fantastic. Anyone watch that? It's quite good. It's quite good, yeah.
I like it. All the inspiration for me house.
I'd love to do something like that now.
Yeah, it'd be deadly, wouldn't it?
Yeah. But I wouldn't want to struggle though. I'd have to have plenty of money and get someone in to do it all, and Watch it slowly but surely come together. It'd be fantastic. I wouldn't be one of those people that could help. No. Did you see the guy getting out on the roof on the ladder?
Oh, no. Sweet Virgin, no way.
No, fair heights, don't like it.
No way. Even the camera, even him going out with the camera attached to him, I was nearly freaking out watching the TV.
No. I want to retire there. Yeah, no, it is. It is beautiful. It is absolutely.
It looks lovely.
It's absolutely beautiful. And but I think the same thing. Remember we were in the restaurant when we stayed in Paris, and the chef came out and he was immediately speaking French, and I was like, I don't know what this guy is saying at all. I've so little. Je m'appelle and quel âge as tu and comme ci comme ça and champagne, obviously. Wine. No, wines. What's wine in French? Is it wine? No. Van. Isn't it? Van. Yeah, I think it's van. So, but then remember we were on the beach in Normandy and we went to the little kind of place they were selling the chips and the food and the burgers and everything like that. And again, I think they didn't speak English. We had very little French. So it's very hard. But I think that's the thing that put me off France. I think.
But you were grand in Germany because you had so much German.
Yeah. But it's just it just felt like an easier language to learn because English is a Germanic language.
Yeah, and I suppose because we were even picking up certain words while we were over there.
Yeah.
And like myself,
Beer.
Christian, and It's tut mir leid.
It's tut mir leid. Yeah.
I have no idea what that means, but I know
I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry.
Excuse me. I used to use
the Irish version of I'm sorry is tá bro orm. And the thing about it is that Irish is that tá is the affirmative of that's it is what it is. Brown is sorry and orm is on me, so it's sorry is on me. That's the structure of Irish. It's very different from English.
Very Yoda-like.
Why are you sitting all the way back there?
My back is hurting me.
How come?
If you just pushed over slightly, I could get into the table a bit more.
You're sitting a mile back. You look tiny and I look like I have a massive head. So what do you want to talk about, Faye?
I don't mind. Can't see the things now.
What do you want to talk about? Gaelga. What's this? When I was in lockdown, you should head to the club. Oh, I've joined it. I have joined it. And so I was doing, I signed up for a 10-week course. It starts back next week for, I got extra homework from your one actually. It's is it number 8? I think it's number 8 next week. And that'll be that then. So when she was saying that they have all trips to the Gael Talk organised, will you
every
week?
Well, then put it on your side.
How come I never hit it?
Because it's on my side.
It's not on your side. You're always waving your arms around, flapping your arms around.
I'll flap my arms now in 2 seconds.
We can hit it every week. You hit it every week.
Sure, but I pull out your ponytail.
So so I did a sign up for that, and I think it is it's excellent, and I'm really enjoying it. But it's there's 13 people in my class, and I think 2 of us are Irish. The rest are all bleeding foreigners. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? There's some English people. They all have Irish roots. There's some French, a few Americans. So they're all learning Irish.
They all have Irish roots.
Every
American has an Irish root.
Everyone's a little bit Irish. Everyone's a little bit Irish.
A little bit country. A little bit
Everybody's a little bit. Everyone's a little bit Irish. I always remember that. It reminds me. Did I ever tell you this story? And I was in London, and this girl came over to me in a bar. Did I ever tell you that?
Hey, I'm Irish too, No,
she had in London, and she had a Cockney accent, and she was telling me she was Irish, and I was going, "Oh, are you?" And she was going, "Yeah," but then she means part Irish. But this is my first time out of Ireland.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of people do claim to have Irish roots.
What's up? Bad news. What? So, I see you've started bringing the rubbish down from the top of the stairs. Anyway, that's one thing. Well done.
So, the headphones I've had for 2 years.
Yeah.
You managed to break them.
Over the past week, one of the ears went off, and now the sound's getting very glitchy and all.
Yeah, and do you know why that is? Because when you're taking them off your head, you pull them by the wire. How many times have I told you not to do that? You do. How many times have I told you not to do it?
How many sets of headphones have you been through, Christian?
I don't know, but I've had that one for 2 years now.
You got them off Santa a year and a bit ago.
Oh, did you?
I got them off Nanny 2 years ago.
Was it 2 years ago? For Christmas though, you got them.
Yeah, but it was off nanny.
Oh, right. I thought it was Santa, sorry.
I'll find my notes. So you don't want to talk about anything?
You just have to order a pair online because there'll be no shops open.
Yeah.
Here's my notes.
Alright with that though.
Good.
I got good use out of them.
You sure did. Does that mean we're going to have to listen to you and your pals talking crap now?
Are we...
What?
Just
Oh yeah.
talk amongst yourselves. I'm on the phone. You guys are just chatting. I was looking for my notes. Can't find my notes. Come on, what do you want to talk about there?
See, pharmacist does over the counter. There's the troublemaker.
Here we go. Found them. Okay. Done that one. Let me see. I think it's.
Hi, Aaron.
I think we some.
You're all right.
Done that one.
10 burpees for being late.
Will I tell? Will I tell my I have an interesting story about biology. Sort of. So this is an interesting this is something I observed in myself a long time ago. I was working in a pharmacy one time, right? So I was standing
working as a waitress in a cocktail bar.
I was working in the shop. And no, it's more of an observation about the sexual drive, right? This is what this is. So about the sex drive and about how
bring me with you. About
how our minds work, and about I was a good bit younger as well, right? So I was a young man, and you know what young men are like. They're just a walking hormone, right? So I was in.
Did you make a hormone?
Don't pay her. So I was in the pharmacy, and I was working away, and I was absent-mindedly minding my own business and stuff like that as well. And I happened to notice there was somebody in the shop, clearly a woman, right? And she was wearing a white vest t-shirt. That's all she had on her top, right? So
no bra?
No bra on, right?
Dirty hussy.
And so what happened then was, I was like, so it caught my eye, right? And then I looked, and it was quite chilly in the shop. Clearly, there was air conditioning, okay? And so I noticed that she had
smuggling peanuts.
She okay, let's say she was smuggling peanuts, right? So, and I was like, so you're kind of going, that's the first thing you notice, right? So I started, and I was kind of going, oh. And then I looked up, and I'd say she was about, I sound ageist here when I say this, right? But I'd say the lady was probably, if she was 80, right? So she was about 80. And I was like, oh, right? I was like, whoa, right? Because what I was expecting was some young woman. So it was because it was registering on different levels for me. I noticed her subconsciously, right? Because I was working and I was distracted. But I noticed her subconsciously, and I observed her from the midriff up. And then I noticed her breasts and her nipples, right, and so on, everything like that. And so I was like, whoa. And then I looked up. There's a complete mismatch then, because she had like this 80-year-old lady head on her, right? And she wasn't heavy or anything like that. She was quite thin, and her hair was, but she was definitely someone in her late 70s or 80s. And I was like, there was a real.
She wasn't.
But this is the real clincher, huh?
Maybe
I know she was. She was an old lady. She was.
It's just like the sunbeds.
She was, because she's burnt into my memory. Like I could draw a sketch of her now, and I could tell you what she looks like, right? So
parts of her anyway.
But then, well, it's more of that. She was quite flat chest. Anyway, so what happened was then I went, but this is the real clincher, right? This just proves how it's autonomous in your mind. What did I do? I looked back.
To make sure it was where you were looking at?
I looked again, right? And I was like, what? I was like, oh my God. But it was like, because the whole thing was so odd. But I was gone, and then I was like, whoa.
And yet you're sharing it.
Yeah. So, but I was like it proved to me, it proved to me the power of our sex drive, right? It proved that you know, on some level, you know, you read this thing registered with you, you know, and it's just it's one of those things. It's sort of like, this is probably another strange one as well. I don't know if this is probably from a man's perspective, right? Women probably do the same thing, right? But did you ever notice someone has a nice rear end, right? Thinking it's a woman, and then you find out it's a man. That happened. I remember one day I was with some friends of mine, and we were walking by this house, and it was one of those old houses, right? So it was a big old house, and it had like a big porch at the front, right? So you stepped up onto the porches, and it's all lovely structure. And sticking out from someone was sitting in the corner because it was a big sun trap, and somebody was sitting with their legs out, these really nice brown legs, and they were lying on their back, right? So from my vantage point, it looked like it was a woman, right? And so I was kind of going to the guys, look, you know, because again, I was a lot younger, obviously, it's a long time ago. And I was looking, and then, but with that, then the guy sat up, and my friends cracked up laughing. I was mortified because I was like, what does that mean? I'm gay, right? Because I was going, what's going on? But again, it's just fascinating, our drive. So what they did was they got these special glasses, and what they do is the glasses can track where your eyeballs are looking, right? So what they do is they put these glasses on, they put them on men and women, right? Women do the same thing. And what men do is they had this guy going around the supermarket, because that's what they're for, right? They're for to see what you're looking at in a shop. So you're kind of going, where are your eyes? So we're like this, like you spend a nanosecond on things, boom, boom, boom. And you're not actually, your eyes don't stay still. They're constantly scanning all over the place. But what happens then, they were showing the footage of what men were looking at, and what they had was men were constantly checking out the women's faces, and then their chests and that kind of thing. And
they weren't breastfed.
But then when they had them on the women, what the women were checking out was things like the man's groin and say his shoulders and all that kind of stuff, you know. So we look at different things, but what we're really doing is the program in our brain is assessing you for genetic I'm gonna say genetic purity. That sounds a bit, you know, kind of, you know, what's the
contrived?
No, you know, genetic purity, kind of like, what's it called? Can't think of the word. You know, anyway, so eugenics or something like that as well, right? So, but what they did was so that's what we do, and the beauty is symmetry in your face, and like that. And I just thought it was fascinating. But I just thought, I thought I would share that I just think it is.
Rory had to wear them for doing market research for a drinks company in Tesco.
Yeah.
And what were you looking at, Rory?
So let's see. Where were we? Or something. Hi. Oh, how's it going, Aaron? My mother's-in-law is in Dublin. She would use Vic. Swear and tell me it was a window. Okay. Your man sounds good. She's okay. Where are we now? Do you not have a bag? They're talking about something else, are they? Okay, so occupational hazard in Thailand. Oh, lady boys. yeah. So you see, this is the thing. I had to wear those glasses doing market research in a drinks company in Tesco. Yeah, and I'd say what they do then is that they played back what you were looking at. But the thing in your defense is that it's subconscious. It subconsciously happens that you find yourself looking at things and checking people out and everything like that. But it is purely subconscious. But that
because women look at men's shoulders and that's really strong genetically, and yeah. No, I've heard about that before.
And but the thing for me, the fact that I looked at the elderly lady. And, you know, because let's face it, right? Say she was 20 something or 30 something years old, right? Whatever, right? And she was like physically and, you know, at her sexual peak and so on and everything like that. It would have been a reward in your mind. You would have went, whoa, you know, I got to see that, right? It's a bit like Twitter and Instagram and all that kind of stuff, right? It's the endorphins. That's probably, I'd say that's what Twitter and all that work on. They work on that kind of small reward center. So men, and I don't know for women, right? So I know obviously you don't look around.
No.
But the thing about it is that, and I don't either. But that's what it is. You find yourself. I remember when I was younger, And now maybe it's because I'm getting older or whatever it is, right? I don't seem to do it as much. I don't seem to do it. But I did find at one stage it was exhausting. It was exhausting to be out and about, that your mind was constantly, you have sex in the brain, right? Yeah. And so you're constantly, but it's sort of like, you're either kind of thinking about it or you're kind of wondering about it, and then you're checking out women and this and just stuff. I would have found it quite tiring at the time.
And would that have been when you were single?
No, I think it's more. It's not to do with age. I think it's more to do with the fact that, or it's not to do with being in a partnership, a relationship. I think it's more to do with your age, because we're driven to reproduce.
And does that mainly affect men?
No, I think women are the same. I think to be fair, I think to be fair, I think no, but obviously we have slightly different priorities, because they say 1 in 9 children, 1 in 10 children is conceived outside of marriage, say, right, outside of a relationship, because women can be opportunistic, whereas men, if men are far more opportunistic to have sex outside a relationship, because again, not again, but for us, if I'm in the Highlands of Scotland and I meet some beautiful young woman and she doesn't know me from Adam, and we have a night of cuddling in around a campfire, and then I'm gone and she gets pregnant, well, I get off scot-free. And that's that imprint that's built into us, that I can just wander away. Whereas obviously she gets pregnant, and well, obviously modern day she has options, but I think the thing about it is, back then, say, she didn't.
Well, that's what they say when you have daughters and boys.
What?
With boys, you only have to worry about their willy. With daughters, you have to worry about all the willies.
What's that mean?
Well, the girls can get pregnant and they're lumbered with. They can be at a young age if they're silly with a baby, where the boy can just walk away and go, no, I'm not taking responsibility. No.
Some women do.
Very rare.
Yeah, no, I know. And then again, generally speaking, yeah, because you see, biology is so powerful with this and stuff like that. But I just think it is interesting. I think that, and actually the point there they're saying about, say, with lady boys and everything like that as well, in that, because it's just when we were watching that thing, remember that comedian, and she was gay. So she I can't think of her name, but
the girl that had cancer.
Yeah, she got cancer, and what happened was she got up and gave. It's on Netflix, I think, right? Her story's on Netflix. Can't think of her name, but it's very good. So she's clearly a lesbian, and she had some bad luck in that she was diagnosed with double. She got her parents died or something.
Her mum died.
Her mum died.
She fell and banged her head, and then didn't wake up the next morning.
And then she got diagnosed with cancer. So then she got up on the stage one evening and she basically said this, and it just basically shot her career into the stratosphere with regards to that. But the thing about it was she so it's one of these things where your sexuality and your relationship status is your private business, and you can either talk about it if you want or not. I mean, that's your business. But so she wasn't talking about her sexuality. So I thought, they're not going to. But then there's a part of me kind of looking at her, kind of going, she clearly looks like a gay lady, right? She has that kind of like slightly, she dresses in men's clothing or something like that. You know the way, you know what I mean, right? But then she did launch into it, and that she was gay, but she was in love with this woman who was straight, and they were together. They were together as friends. And they were together a long, long, long time, right? And then eventually the gay lady said to the straight lady, look, what are we doing here? And then the straight lady said, look, I'm straight and I'm not gay. So this is not going to happen. So they weren't a couple, but they effectively broke up. But then after some time of being apart, they missed each other so much that they basically met back up again. And then the straight lady said she was going to give it a go. And I think they're getting married.
Yeah.
They're getting married.
Trying to have a child together.
Yeah. So I'm kind of going, like, could I do the same thing? Could I be in a relationship with a man if I was straight? The answer is no, right? I couldn't. I know that guaranteed. Now I know it, right? Because I'm cast iron sure that I just know that I wouldn't. But I think there's a level of and I sounded real defensive there, and I'm saying that, but I'm just saying that I couldn't. But I just think that there's a but then saying that, then there's a level of companionship and company and staying, like the two guys in Ireland. Yeah. Remember that? So that they weren't. Neither of them were gay.
I think the older gentleman was.
He was gay, was he? But then they stayed together out of companionship.
They got married.
Yeah, well, they got married for tax reasons. But I just think it's, you know, this whole thing, our sexuality is fascinating, isn't it? Do you not think it's just the most amazing, the things, the decisions that we can make? But I often think that could I shack up with a guy in the morning? Maybe one of those ladyboys.
Would they cook for you?
I couldn't. You see, you just know.
If he was a chef,
I just couldn't look at another man's junk. I just can't.
If he was a chef.
The thing about it is that women are beautiful, right? So I could kind of see two women together, and I don't mean in that kind of seedy kind of way. You could kind of go. You can kind of say.
I even said, "Damn, I just told my wife I'm leaving her, Jay."
Well, I didn't close the door fully on it now. So
you just closed his back message.
But it would have been better if you said rear entrance. But anyway, so what was I going to say? You know the way with women, because of women's bodies, I would say, now there's some beautiful men out there, but I think no matter what, when it comes to the meat and two veg, it's never the most. Well, I don't know. Like from a woman's perspective, if you look at a man's, sausage and spuds and whatever you call it, right? Is it from a woman's perspective attractive? Because to me, like the last thing you want to see if you're in the pool or something like that, you just don't want to see another guy's junk. You're like, that program, The Naked thing, where and the minute the barrier goes up and you can see it, like, what? They're all like, headless,
we only ever see that when
chickens
it's on,
or something like that. No,
we only ever see that when it's on.
Yeah, but
what you call that program we watch? That we're going off at 9 o'clock. So Gogglebox.
Gogglebox, yeah.
That's the only time we ever see it.
What do you think, though? Would you see a man's meat and two veg and kind of go, yeah, they're beautiful, in the same way a man looking at a woman?
I don't think I'd call it beautiful. No.
No. And you know what? I'd say if there are beautiful ones, they're probably few and far between, because they don't lend themselves to beauty.
No.
They don't. Wrinkly balls and an L,
and a strange kind of colour as well compared to the rest of the skin.
And then
is that just you?
And then well, well, it's very battered and bruised with you, I'd say. You're very rough on me. So is that what you mean? Is it? Is it? Huh?
Yeah. They look like two black eyes.
I'm going now. Okay. How do we get into this conversation?
Maybe we need to buy a looser underwear.
How do we get into it? Well, those last set that I got are very tight. They are very tight.
They weren't when you got them.
They're very tight. Very tight.
COVID.
Although, have you noticed since we got them, you got knocked up?
Yeah.
What's that about?
Just goes to show. They do say you wear tighter briefs to get
Maybe
pregnant.
The other ones are too loose.
Yeah.
There
you go.
They're very tight there.
Yeah.
Very tight. I feel like I'm wearing Christian's jocks sometimes. They're so,
do you know
so
what?
snug.
I have on occasion put yours into his drawer and they go, no, they're not there.
Yeah. They're very tight. Yeah, they're not. But they are comfortable, I have to say.
Yeah.
You can focus in on them how tight they are, but they are very comfortable because they do give you great support and everything like that, And
at your age, when things are down by your knee, you have to have good support.
Well, I wasn't going to tell you this, but I will now, seeing as we're declaring everything. I don't know whether it was a trick of the light or my imagination, but I think I found some grey pubes. I went in the other morning and I was having a shower, and I got out of the shower. And so I'm not going to say full length, but because of my height, I can see myself in the mirror, right? And I was like, I thought I noticed a bit of white.
Well, you are nearly 50.
And then I went, but you know what? It's funny though, because I looked and then I looked away and said, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. And I was going to tell you, But I'd rather wait till we were on the internet and I could tell everyone. But I did look and I went, am I going grey? Am I going grey down there?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's going to be, yeah. Anyway. Right, so hopefully that sparked off the conversation.
Bus and Beyond sold their Cali.
Did they?
No, we won't be selling ours. You wouldn't get tuppence for ours now, the amount that we've given it about.
Okay, let's see. Where were we?
Oh, and they got a Grand California. Oh, God, no.
Wait, no. The comments were coming in. Wait and see. Okay, so I was assisting a paramedic once and he lifted a woman's top to check her injuries and found myself bending down to look at her chest. Mad. Yeah. See, it's crazy. See, it's mad, isn't it? And you're sort of disgusted with yourself, but it's just that's subconscious, you know, that's deep down inside kind of stuff. You know what I mean? That's where our taboos come from, and you know, that's where we instinctively know things what not to do because it's hardwired into us. Like, you know, like the reason we are disgusted by poo and things like that as well. No one ever taught you to do that. It's just, you know it. You know what I mean? Anyway, so you really missed that Scotland trip. Yeah. Look, we'll have to put that back on the to-do list. So the lady does protest too much.
It's you.
Oh, is it? Okay. No, well, that was you.
It was you when you were saying about.
Oh, yeah. Well, maybe. No, I know. So there's nothing attractive about the male body. Well, I know. I wouldn't say that now. Remember when we were away in Italy last year? Remember those? There was these guys, the lifeguards. Remember?
Yeah.
They were inspiring me to go on the diet, which I never did. But they were.
You did go on the diet when you came back, but I think it lasted a week.
See, swimmer's body. That's the best body, isn't it? That's the.
Yeah, but they're young Italians.
That's the best body. Yeah. Droopy as they age, so that's why light switches were invented. So, very good. Did you hear about? But no, we didn't hear that. No, they got a Grand Cali. I saw one of them. I now fair ball to them. I'm you know, they have a child now and Bentley. That's the name of the dog, isn't it? Funny, I know the dog's name, but I don't know their name.
I don't know.
Anyway, so the but I was in a VW place and they had one of those Grand Californias and I couldn't believe how high it was. I was looking up like that going, look at the height of this thing. They seem like a huge vehicle for very little space inside. It all seems very compromised. I'd be nervous to buy one because I have a feeling the next one they bring out is going to be mind-blowingly good. Do you ever notice that? Sometimes they bring out a vehicle and it's rubbish and then the next one is so much better. It'd have to be because I don't think they're great.
David said, I found my first pubic hair today. I hope it's not your first pubic hair, David. Normally would not bother me, but it was in a Big Mac. Deadly. That's a joke, obviously.
I know, yeah, but that happened to me. Remember that?
Oh, in the nuts in
in Sicily.
Sicily, yeah.
Yeah, it was disgusting. Yeah, and maybe I was telling too much. Maybe I'll watch this back and I'll probably have to take this video down because I'm probably sharing too much. But yeah, you know, you wouldn't talk, so that's what happens. Yeah, no, it is. I think it's kind of I'm kind of noticing that I'm getting older now. I think that's the thing. You know, how are we doing for time? I'm noticing that I'm turning 50 now. I'm turning 50, and I think maybe that's what we'll talk about next week. Age.
Yeah, I'd be 41 this year.
Yeah, and I think, you know, because you don't know, you could be gone in the morning, right? You could be lights out tonight, boom, you're gone. But I think the thing is that it's probably on some level you're kind of thinking,
stay around for a little while, will you? Because I don't need me man the labour ward with me.
Well, do you know what I dread? I dread the thing I dread about aging is, say, things like climbing onto the shed the other day or getting up into the attic and these kind of things. You have to maintain your fitness, I think. And the one thing COVID has taught me is that I've put on a lot of weight since COVID, right? And also I can definitely feel the strength has gone out of my legs and stuff like that. The amount of sitting and staying in and being trapped.
You started doing a little bit of running and stuff and then you just gave up on it. And you were doing a little bit of strength training and you just gave up on it.
Yeah.
Remember the three of us would go out and we'd run the ring?
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
Well, you decided you wanted to go on a diet, and then
it's not that. It's because I know I just feel it's the same stupid 3 walks, and they're just as boring as each other, and there's just no interest. There's no challenge.
I know, but you know, that's just your own negativity there.
Maybe we'll talk about age next week and what it's like getting older and what you've noticed about getting older. Be interesting to talk about the different phases of what you were like as a child and then as a teenager and then as what your worries and insecurities were through various stages of your life.
Mine was my weight.
Was it?
Yeah.
Your weight?
Yeah.
Like worried what, you're too light or too heavy?
Too heavy.
Yeah. You were very thin when I met you, alright, weren't you? I fattened you up. That's interesting.
Very thin.
We should explore that definitely.
Sure, I think,
make a note of that. Someone remind me next week.
You write that down.
Someone remind me next week.
I think I was probably only about 8 stone when we first started going out.
Really?
But for the longest time, I'd weigh myself every day, and if I was anything over 7.5 stone, I wouldn't eat.
Yeah. What was that about?
Well, you see, I came from a family that was fully focused on weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mum would say to you, you're putting on a bit of weight there. And on the other hand, she'd be trying to stuff you full of food.
Irish mammy. And so what we'll do is we'll save it for next week because that's kind of interesting, you know, and we're out of time. We're out of time, yeah. So there you go.
There you go.
So there you go, guys. There's a real insight into my world of madness. And once again, I did all the talking. You're definitely talking next week. So we're going to talk about that. That's fascinating.
Take notes though.
That's fascinating.
I won't remember that. That
is aim at getting older. Are you saying I am old already? That's true. Yeah. See, 50. But like I think the thing about it is that I think because people are living so much longer and stuff like that now, I think age is shifting out a bit, isn't it? And even someone in 80, you can kind of go, they can be in great nick and super healthy.
There's ladies in my class, my fitness class, that are in their 80s, and the amount of exercise and everything they do, they'd run rings around you, and their faculties are well and truly there. Like a lot of them live on their own, and they'd buy and sell you. But
you see, I think that's the thing. It's up here. Yeah, it's up here that it's important.
They all have an amazing attitude.
Yeah,
you know that way.
Yeah, you need to stay active. You need to stay. You need to have plenty of hobbies and interests. Yeah,
you need to think young, because once you start thinking old, because you know the way people say, "Oh, I'm 40. I'm too old for that. Carry on now." You're going to be very, very old by the time you get old.
Well, the only thing I'd say for me as I get older is I feel I'm getting calmer and more stable in relative terms, and I appreciate that. So I think by the time I'm 60, I'll be like the Buddha.
Yeah.
Anyway, better read the things because we're out of time. Out of time.
I just read Ginger Barry's one out there. It's just the longer one.
See, the first grade pubic hair too this week. Told the missus you'll need to get that, sir. Very good. Age is just a number. I can say that because I'm over the hill. Very good. 50 is the new 30. Yeah. Well, you know, medicine. I'm 59, and people are healthier as well.
People are healthier. People are looking after themselves.
I'm 59 on the 1st of April. Very good.
You're joking.
Who?
His birthday's the 1st of April.
All right. Okay. Give you night, Aaron. What we want? Okay. Right. Okay. Right. We'll see you. We'll see you all next week, where Vanessa will regale us with stories of weight concerns, and God knows what I'll talk about. But
and legs. That was my other.
Your legs.
Yeah, I hate me legs. I still wouldn't be in love with them now, but I'd be more comfortable with them. But they used to look like something that'd hang out of a nest. Stop. Sure, my knees were the size of dinner plates.
Well, I always found you very attractive.
Well, I'm alright. Like, nobody's saying I'm not. But my legs were a bit funny.
It's a bit too late now to be kind of bringing all that stuff into it. You can save all that for next weekend.
Grant.
Next week. All right, guys, listen. Hope you had a nice Mother's Day. Hope you had a nice Paddy's Day. And we'll see you all next week. God bless. Take care. And
God bless.
Slán. God bless.
God bless.
God bless.
Won't you?
God bless. Take care. Or stay safe, more.
Stay safe.
Stay safe, more. Right, so now I have to switch off because.
Right, come on, Gogglebox is on, Jay.
Right, I'm going to stop it now.
Yourself out
I'm going to hit stop.